I'm Jess, also known as Jessica Foster, but my friends call me Jess, so you're all welcome to do that. We're going to be talking about systems for outbound lead gen and scalable growth, and it happens to be my favorite topic, so you're in for some fun, all right? Oh, I'm going to say some party rules real quick. I'm going to hit the wrong button on this at least 6 times, and we're going to go backwards before we go forwards. And every time I do it, you can giggle a little bit. It'll make me feel better. Because I'm not so great with tech. Who am I? Yes, I'm a property manager just like you. I have held every position there could ever be in a property management company. That's true. But my most favorite one was when I was BDM, and I'm known for bringing in a lot of doors in a very short amount of time. And we're going to talk about how I did that through organic outbound lead gen today. I am an ultra runner. That's why they put me in this room, so you all could get your steps in to get on over here, because I believe in lots of steps. And I do spend a lot of time working with property managers just like you, business owners, coaching and speaking specifically about organization, growth, profitability, and absolutely accountability, because without accountability, you can't have real growth. My most important role day to day is raising 3 amazing, upstanding gentlemen. And if there's one thing I love to talk about more than growth, it's my kids. So thank you for being here and hanging out with me. If everybody wants to go ahead and snag this QR code, there's a resource that you're going to get that's going to give you some prompts, some links, and some tips, tricks, and scripts that are going to help you follow along with this presentation. You don't need to take any notes or any pictures, because I'm also going to send you all these slides, but if you feel like something is speaking to you, definitely do snag a picture of a slide. But this resource here is going to be exactly what you need to follow along with this presentation and also to utilize afterwards. I'm curious if you could shout out some things what you all are hoping to get out of this presentation. So if I did leave something off of a slide, or if I wasn't planning on talking about it, I can make sure that we touch on it. So just fire off some things. What are you here for? What are you looking to take away? How can I best utilize this time to give you some takeaways? Yell it out, don't be afraid. Growth, okay. What is it? More doors, good. Mindset. Anything in particular about those things you want to know about?
I want to be able to identify the clients I actually want. I know how to turn down a lot of them, but I want to be able to be hyper-specific and target the people I'm looking for.
Target clients, target properties, maybe some targeted prospecting. I got a slide for that.
We have a lot of loss.
Oh, churn, negative churn, okay. Anybody else? Anything in particular? All right, one more party rule. While I'm going through and I'm talking about stuff, I get really passionate about this, and sometimes I talk too much. Sometimes I skip over something. If it seems like I'm skipping over something that's important to you, go ahead and yell out, Jess, tell us more about that. And I will, okay? So the first step that we're gonna take today is we're gonna identify our growth strategy, right? We're gonna start with the what. What are your growth goals? Do you know? What's your big growth goal for this year, for next year, for the next 5 years? What's your growth goal? You say you want more doors. How many more? And then remember to factor in churn, right? Because we need to know exactly what your growth goals are to be able to strategize for them. And what are your target properties and target clients? And that just got brought up. Is it A and B class? Is it ABC class? What are your target properties? Then what are your target clients? Accidental landlords, intentional investors, multi-unit investors or portfolio holders. What are your targets? You don't have to tell me, because everybody's so quiet, bless you. But tell yourself and be thinking about that while we're going through the slides here. What are your goals and what are your targets? Principles for growth start with a why. Vision-driven leadership. When I was a BDM for a company in Orlando, Florida, the very best part of my experience was that the vision was clear from the very beginning. We were going to manage 24,000 doors. It's a lot of pressure when you're in that BDM seat. 24,000 doors? When I started, we had hundreds of doors, not thousands, and we were going to 24,000. But that was the vision. My why was that I believed in that vision like it was absolutely my own, and it drove everything. So vision-driven leadership. If you are the owner of your company, if you are the growth director, the BDM, the why is the most important thing you can start with, okay? Next, the how. I believe the how is relentless focus on systems and efficiency. Highest and best use of your time. That's how you're going to get to your goal. How do you know what the highest and best use of your time is if you're not tracking what you're doing and the success of those things that you're doing, your growth activities? So how you're going to get there is relentless focus. You're going to track, you're going to identify what the highest and best use of your time is, and then you're going to do everything you can to do more of that and less of what's holding you back, less of what's bogging you down, less of what's bottlenecking. Who's going to get you there? Your relationships are going to get you there, and that's what we're going to talk about in here today. Relationships are everything in this business, absolutely everything. How much easier is it to close a referral from a relationship than an inbound lead from I found you on Google? I'm shopping 7 other property management companies. I searched Google. I'm calling down the list. How much easier is it to close the person that said, so-and-so said I needed to talk to you. So-and-so gave me your number. Much easier, right? I bet your close rate is a lot higher on those referrals than it is on those inbound leads who are calling everybody and shopping. Highest and best use of your time, efficiencies, and systems. That's how we're going to get there. Where to begin? What does everyone always say to me? I don't know where to begin. I know I want to do it. I'm being told how to do it, but I just don't know where to begin. I would say you got to focus on a key driver and a key discipline. What does that mean? You can copy mine. I don't mind, but these were mine when I was super uber focused on growth. More. My driver was more. My focus was to be intentional. And my discipline was consistency, and I will say it till I'm blue in the face. Consistent persistence. That was where success was rooted for me. Consistency over urgency, just consistency, right? I wanted more referrals, intentional relationships, and I wanted consistency and habit tracking, meaning I wanted to be consistent with my habits and I wanted to be tracking them so I could see I was doing those things. I call them habits, they were growth activities, but I tracked. Every phone call I made, every appointment I went on, I tracked. I'm going to urge you to do the same. There is a worksheet in that resource that you should have been sent when you clicked on that QR code, and that worksheet will help you to track your activities. It's super simple. I mean, it looks like a 10-year-old made it, right? Because keep things simple. But you can use it to track your activities, and while you track your activities, you can figure out what is keeping you bottlenecked and what is helping you to be more efficient. I wanted more visibility, intentional social media presence, intentional social media presence, not doom scrolling, not fun pictures of me super happy. Nope, intentional social media visibility. And that meant, and y'all can look at this later, hashtag 200 living rooms. And if you look that up, you're going to understand what I mean. And consistency with brand messaging. Brand messaging is so important, not just the brand of your company, but your personal brand. What is your personal brand? It matters. Everybody's watching, especially when it's on the internet. more efficiency. I showed you the list of all the things I do in a day. I've got to be efficient. If your job is growth, if your focus is growth, you have got to be efficient, because in the property management world, how many hats is everybody wearing at all times, even if they shouldn't be wearing more than one? Probably 17. I'm kidding, like 3 to 6. But efficiency, more efficiency. Intentional drip campaigning. Who wants to talk about drip campaigning today? Everybody asks me about drip campaigning. Jess, I want to do drip campaigning. Where do I start? What do I do? Well, there are some drip campaign templates and ideas in that resource. So you can look there, but we'll talk about them here. Consistency in belief mindset. What is most important? Somebody said they want to talk about mindset. When you are in the growth driver's seat, what is the most important tool in your arsenal of growth tools? It's this. Because you're going to hear no 7 times before you hear a yes. And you got to roll with it and keep showing up. You're going to hear no from people who tell you yes later, as long as you are consistent and persistent and you keep showing up. My absolute favorite group of people to drip are the people who tell me no. It's no today, but one day it could be yes. And if it's not yes from them, it's going to be yes from a referral from them. Because every opportunity for a relationship is an opportunity for a referral. What is the myth of automatic growth? Does anybody know? Because everybody falls into it. Does anybody know? Really, I'm serious. Have you ever heard it? You're going to hear it here for the first time. We're going to talk about it. It's what is stopping you. And everybody falls into it. It's the wait game, right? This is the automatic growth myth. Many property managers wait for growth. They wait for referrals. They wait for realtors. They wait for something external, but the most powerful leads come from outbound momentum that you control. Do you control what other people do for you? No. But you control what you do every single day. And outbound starts there. So many times, I have to tell people, just start. Start where you are with what you have right now. There is no better time than now. I don't have the perfect drip campaign. That's fine. Start anyway. Start making your list and making your phone calls. My list doesn't have 500 people on it. That's okay. Call 5 people today. You're not going to call 500 people in a day. I don't know what to say. Write down a couple talking points. Make some calls and practice. Start today. Start in imperfection. Don't feel like you have to control every single moment, because whoever it is that you're practicing on, they don't care that you mess up as much as you care that you mess up. So start today. You don't need a perfect list. You don't need a perfect script. You don't need anything that's perfect. You need your imperfect self. You need to just have conversations with people, right? Does everybody know what outbound is versus inbound? If you don't, it's okay. Over 30% of people I talk to don't know the difference, and I want to make sure you do. Does everybody know when I say inbound and when I say outbound, the difference in those? Should we maybe just touch on it for a moment? Oh, and organic, which means you didn't pay for it, right? Okay. Except at the grocery store. Anything that says organic on it at the grocery store, you're going to pay 3 times more. But not when it's organic lead gen. You're going to pay nothing because you're going to start from scratch with organic. Outbound means you started the conversation. Inbound means your company did something to produce that interaction. Outbound is you started it. It came from your efforts. It came from outside of the business because of something extra you did. Inbound is what the waiting people are focused on. They're waiting for that inbound lead. They're waiting for that paid lead. They're waiting for that realtor to send something. Realtors, you pay for referrals. Outbound organic lead gen, you do not pay for. That's the difference. Organic, it doesn't cost you anything. Outbound, organic outbound, it's about human interaction. Does all of this make sense? So we can go on to start talking about it and how you're going to do it and how you're going to get it done and started today. You're going to start today. Don't be scared, but you're going to leave this room and you're going to start. You're going to be inspired to. This is how I utilized outbound lead gen. Referral partnerships, some people call those strategic alliances. I'm going to call them referral partnerships, but if you want to call them strategic alliances, potato. Networking. Who loves networking? One person, two, three. Y'all are at a conference. Who loves networking? Well, if I was sitting where you're sitting, I'd be sitting on my hands. I actually don't enjoy networking, and I'm going to teach you how to really, really get the most out of networking. So I'm glad only a third of the room put their hand up. You guys are my people. You're my peeps. All right, community engagement. What does that mean? What does community engagement to you mean? Passion, purpose, right? Where did those fall for you? What are you passionate about? What purpose, what organization means something to you? We're going to talk a little bit how to connect those things. And targeted prospecting. Somebody said that's what it was you. So see, I got a slide for that. All right. Referral programs. We're going to talk about referral programs because I believe this is something that completely changed my entire growth game. I was very reliant on realtors. The company I worked for had a lot of really strong relationships with realtors. First, it was their relationships. Then I stepped in, and those were my relationships. And then I built more relationships with realtors. The problem with realtors is that realtors are strategic too. Are they just referring to one exclusive property management company? Probably not. And when I realized that, I realized I had to change the game. Luckily, I was a big part of a BNI chapter. Has anybody been in BNI? Oh, more people have been in BNI than those that like networking? This is making sense. Okay. So BNI is a networking, it's a business networking group. It's international. It's a really big organization. BNI, the thing that they're most known for is a phrase, givers gain. And that spoke to me. I was very fortunate to be part of an amazing BNI chapter where I received tons and tons of referral business, which was awesome. Some people have had the opposite experience with BNI. It hasn't been as beneficial for them. And oftentimes I'll ask those people, how much did you put into it? Because with networking groups, you get out of it what you put in, right? So referral programs for me started rooted in BNI. I was like, man, this is great. I'm getting referrals from the HVAC guy and the chiropractor and the physical therapist. This is great. I wish there was more than just one of these in my group, because that's the other thing with BNI. With BNI, there's only one industry per seat in each group. So I started going to other BNI groups as a visitor and meeting other plumbers and physical therapists and chiropractors, and I wasn't getting the same referral response from them, and I wondered why, and I thought about it. And I thought, I need to build my own referral program, my own referral partnerships. Why? Because I need more referrals. And if I build it, they will come. So what did I do? I identified the industries I wanted to focus on. In 2023, this was my list of the strategic partners I was going to focus on building relationships with. So I created a spreadsheet. It wasn't fancy. I'm going to share it with you. It's in that resource. You're going to look at it and be like, oh, a 10-year-old made this too. Yeah, pretty much. But I made a spreadsheet. I made a tab for each one of these industries. On each tab, I filled it with 10 names. 10 names that I got from Google, right? That's where I started, Google. 10 names that I got from Google. When I put those 10 names on each list, I didn't plan to have 10 referral partners in each category. I planned to have 3. Why did I put 10 on the list? That was my list to call, and my goal was 3. There are 12 industries on this list. 3 times 12 is 36. I needed to find 36 people that would be my referral partnership network that I could focus efforts on, drip campaigning, one-on-one meetups, really figuring out what their business goals were and help them, so that in turn, because that's giver's gain. Giver's gain. I want to give business to you. I want to help you in your business, so in turn, you will help me. So that's what I wanted to do. 36. I had 120 names total, and I picked 3 in each category, and I focused on those 36 people. I also expected that those 36 people would each give me 3 referrals in a year. Anybody know the math on 36 times 3? It's 108. 108 referrals in 1 year from 36 people. Does anybody know what the average conversion rate is on a referral versus an inbound lead? It's always above 50%. So he said 80%. Yeah. So the likelihood that I was going to walk away with at least 50 doors or 54 doors was high. The likelihood that I would walk away with more, higher. So the next step is to build and fill your pipelines, and that's what I was talking about when I said, for anybody that didn't take that QR code and is now like, dang, I really want that resource because this is there, go ahead and get that now. But I'm going to show you what my referral partnership database looked like. Maybe? Yeah. Nobody judge my tabs. It's my to-do list. Okay. It's how my brain works. No judgment. All right, see down here at the bottom where we have category 1 all the way down through category 12? Okay, well, the first tab is the referral partner database, and that's where all of the names went, so 120. And then I filled in all of these things as it came because I was keeping good notes, good track. Then each category I would name, so I would say CPA on this tab, and I would put my 10. Why did I have so many, not tabs, we're not looking at my tabs, we're looking at this. Why did I have so many? Because you don't just stop at 10, right? We do 10 for a year, we focus on 36 people, the next year we add to our list. It's building, it's building. So anyway, you can go through this because I gave you a copy of it, but you might say, Jess, what do I do with these people when I get these people? And I gave you an example of a drip campaign here for these people. So you can use that. You might say, Jess, what am I going to say to these people? And everybody always wants scripts, and I don't believe in scripts, but I gave you some on that resource. I did. But I also gave you talking points because that's what I believe in. So when somebody says, Jess, what am I going to say to these people? I say create 3 talking points, call them up, and in 15 seconds or less, you're going to say something along the lines of, hi, my name's Jess. I work for a property management company in the area. I was Googling and I saw your website. I love your Google reviews. I'm wondering, are you accepting referrals at this time? Do you think they're going to hang up on you? 15 seconds or less. All I'm asking, saying who I am, because I'm not going to lie, but are you accepting referrals at this time? If they're not, what's the next thing I should say? Is anybody in your firm, anybody in your office, anybody in your company accepting new referrals at this time? Awesome. Can you connect me to them? If they say, yes, we are, and I would say something like, that's so great. So I told you I work at this property management company. From time to time, I get asked for a referral to a CPA, to an insurance person, I don't know, whatever was on my list. I was wondering if we could take 15 minutes, talk about your business, make sure we're aligned, and you could tell me who the best people to send to you are of my people that are asking for referrals. Do you think they're gonna say no to a 15-minute chat about that? It doesn't have to be now, right? I'm available Wednesday after 3 or Friday at 11. Why did I pick 2 days, 2 times? Now they're in charge of when we're gonna meet, but I told them what my availability is. Oh, I'm not available any of those times. Okay, what's your next availability? Right? That's all, 15 seconds or less. What happens if they say, no, I'm not interested? Click. Because you got a list, and you're gonna hear no more times than you're gonna hear yes, and it doesn't hurt our feelings. They're just not our person. And then you're gonna assign the drip, right? I gave you an example of a drip in your resource, but you could use your drip if you have one. You could create a totally different one. You could snag some ideas from mine, snag some ideas from what works for you. What's the most important thing with building relationships? A+. That's right, consistency. What's also important is face-to-face interaction. So those 15 minutes, if you can't do it in their office, which would be ideal, you can always do it on Zoom, Google Meets, some sort of video meeting, right? Face-to-face. That's how people really feel like they get to know you, is when they can see your face. I'm a firm believer in human connection, and I don't believe that human connection is achieved through text and a faceless phone call. That's just my personal belief, but I implore you to use the face-to-face idea. All right, now we're gonna talk drip campaigning. There are some drip campaigns listed in the resource that you can use. Also, if you wanna know more about drip campaigning, right, you can send me an email after this session and we can chat for 30 minutes about building out a real true drip campaign for you that'll work for you and that's authentic to you. Drip campaigning 101 is that you have to start in authenticity. It has to sound like you. It has to convey the message that you're trying to send, because we're targeting a certain audience. We're targeting certain prospects. We're targeting certain properties. We're targeting certain future clients, right? We also should be dripping our current clients. I spoke in Portland earlier this year. It was the rainy season. I think it always is there, though. And in Portland, after my session, which happened to be on leadership, not even on growth, somebody came up to me and they said, I heard you're the person that's like crazy at growth. If you were gonna tell me one thing you would do to start, what would you do? What's the one thing you would do? You know what I would do? I would start with my current book of business. That's the first thing I would do. So I would start calling and dripping my current book of business. If you're not already doing it, you need to be doing it. Your current book of business. It doesn't mean either that you have to. It means someone on your team needs to be consistently reaching out and touching that current book of business. That's where I would start. I got off track because I really like talking about your current book of business. I could go on about it all day. That's not what this session's on, though. This is outbound organic growth. All right, visibility before velocity. What does that mean? People need to see you as helpful, not hungry. Consistent, not intense. Not in your face. Every interaction doesn't need to be, send me some business, let me manage your house, tell your friends about me. That doesn't need to be the message. What's the message? What's your message? Education first. Do you know how easy it is to type into ChatGPT right now? What are the top 5 myths of property management? What are 3 things landlords need to remember during the holiday season? What are 8 things an investor can do to maximize profitability of their portfolio? ChatGPT knows everything. You don't even have to create your own content. You can ask ChatGPT. Start somewhere, but start with education. Start with topics that are going to be of interest to your target group. Content is queen, but ladies, we all know the queen rules the house. And what's queen? Strategic marketing. Content's important, that's true, but strategic marketing, that runs the show, that rules the game. What's strategic marketing? Yeah, and knowing your audience, right? Knowing who you're marketing to. And then being strategic about how often you touch them, how often you connect with them, how often you talk to them, how often you send something educational, how often you send something informative, how often you send something helpful, how often you touch by text, by phone, by in-person appointment, right? Okay. So I tell all my clients to create a folder that's called Outreach Assets. Outreach Assets is content that you create and collect over time and you put in a folder. And then you can reuse, repurpose it over the course of 5, 6, 7, 8 drip campaigns. Reuse it, right? What's the best thing to do? Take 6 or 7 pieces of content that you're proud of, sprinkle those into a drip campaign with text, video, and in-person meetings. And you've got a drip campaign, a 12-month drip campaign if you do just those things. Some ideas for outreach assets would be free guides, short videos, case studies, maybe mini PDFs or checklists that you can send out, right? A self-managing landlord, here's a checklist on how to do a proper move-in inspection. Just thought it might be helpful for you. Sure. Oh, I just said this. See here? Choose a pipeline. Create a list of 6 touches, right? And then sprinkle in some of these assets. Personalize it. Elevate it with your personality, right? It's important. When it comes to networking and prospecting, okay? We're going to go into this now. What's your elevator pitch? Those of you who love networking, what's your elevator pitch? Can you tell somebody in 30 seconds or less who you are, what you do, and why you do it? No? Work on it. Work on it in the mirror before a networking event, right? This is especially important for people who don't enjoy networking. That's me. You want to know what my trick was? Here's what I say, 30 seconds or less. Okay, cool. I go into this event, super nervous. People freak me out. My goal is connect with 3 people, have 3 meaningful conversations, get 3 takeaways, and I can bounce. First tip, find an anchor in the room. Somebody you know in the room that you're comfortable with. Do your first round through the room with them. Then find your first target, right? Connect with them. Have a meaningful conversation. Give them your elevator pitch. Listen to theirs. Be more interested in them than yourself. If I ever send anybody a contact in my phone from someone I met at a networking event, it's silly. It's like their first name, their last name, and for company, it's like wore red shoes, has 3 dogs, one's name is Spot, has 2 kids, girl and a boy, didn't get the ages, one of the names is Maisie, from Ohio, lives in Florida, loves cake. Why do I do that? I'm putting their information in my phone. I'm adding all those things real quick. Why do I do that? So I can remember. What happens if they call me sometime? What happens if I have to call them? Well, everybody's got their phone on them at all times, readily available, right? Tips and tricks. But be more interested in them than you. Have a plan. Stick to it. Have a goal. Crush it. And then either stick around and have a good time, talk about yourself all you want, or bounce. But get the most out of every networking opportunity. This is just talking more about consistency. Consistency is so important. What are some things you can do networking-wise, or where are some places you can get some visibility? Speak at investor meetups. Go to investor networking events. That's a great place to find clients. Sponsor a small event. Host free lunch and learns for different types of clients or referral partners. Partner with a referral partner for one of those things, right? Targeted prospecting. We talked about that. Remember when I asked you, who is your property target client? Have you been thinking about that? Who is it? What are yours? Of these three options, who are you going after? Do you know? Do you know how to find them? Do you know how to direct a conversation with other people about how to find these people? Start there. Think about that. I had somebody recently who said to me, I'm doing the referral partner pipeline exercise that you gave me, and it's going okay, except the white-collar industries don't and won't refer me anything, and I don't know what to do. And I said, well, why do you think that is? Well, they already have people they're referring to. Okay, nothing wrong with being number two. I had a locksmith in my BNI group who joined NARPM for my local chapter, and he was our number two locksmith, but he was consistent, he was persistent, he always showed up, and he made good friends with that number one locksmith. And you know what happened? Anytime that number one locksmith didn't want to go out to a property, guess who went? That's right, number two. Then what happened? That number one locksmith wanted to sell and get out. Who do you think he went to buy his book of business? It's all about your behavior, what you're saying, and who you're saying it to. So if you feel like certain industries are not referring to you, you just haven't yet conveyed why they should. So you need to have a different type of conversation, right? Instead of asking them for business, ask them for connections. Who can you connect me to here, there, over there? Why? Because we are professionals. We're always looking to extend our professional network. And because I want to create more relationships with people in your network, because I respect you and who you are and who you know. Ask for a connection instead of a referral. Hey, who do you use for? Who do you refer for? And add to your arsenal. How easy would it be to call up a new potential referral partner and say, hey, the attorney that I have a referral partnership with recommended that I talk to you. Could you meet for coffee for 5 or 10 minutes and, chat about business? What do you think they're going to say? Their attorney friend recommended you all should talk. They're going to say yes. So think about these conversations. Think about your prospecting, your targets, and how to get more connections to people who know these kinds of people. That's all. So this is outbound, and it's not cold calling, okay? It's not cold calling. And a lot of people get that confused. A lot of people think calling FSBOs or for rent by owners is cold calling. It's not. It's warm calling. Why? They have a need. You have a solution. It's not cold. It's like a warm, cuddly blanket on a cool fall night, right? It's not cold. It's not cold to call referral partner prospects. It's not cold to call for rent by owners. It's not cold to call people that you want to invite to an investor seminar or an educational event. That's not cold. That's very warm. Don't get it confused with cold calling because people are afraid of cold calling. But again, know who you're talking to. Each prospect has a different pain point. Your outreach works best when your message matches their mindset. Are you going to call up an accidental landlord and talk about things with like 3-letter terms, ROI, PMA. They're like, what? Huh? I just have this house that I can't sell and I can't live in and I need help. Oh, okay. Are you going to talk to them about reducing maintenance costs on that first call? No, because they're asking you if you pay for it or if they pay for it. If my refrigerator breaks, do you pay for that? Or do I pay for that? Are you going to have a conversation with them about hard things and big businessy things? No, you're going to start where they're at. You're going to give them information to help them get where you need them to be, which is on your team. Understand that. Is anybody calling on for rent by owners, FSBOs, expired listings? Anybody calling these? Searching non-owner occupied lists like PropWire? Anybody doing those things? How's it going? Anybody sending mass mailers to those types of people? How's it going? Are you tracking it? Because you should be. You should be tracking it. And if it's not going well, you should change the conversations that you're having. Change how you're starting. Instead of immediately jumping into, hey, I have these services that you would benefit from. Instead of that, maybe say this. Hey, I saw you just listed your house for rent. Great area, super desirable. I wanted to share a free resource with you, a checklist on all the things you need to do to prepare for a showing, all the things you need to do to get that target renter. Here, I want to help. Can I send it to you? They'll say yes. What'd you get? You got their email, you know their phone number, you know their name, you know the property. What should you do with them? Drip, 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 drippity drip. Yep. So I have some scripts and talking points for specifically those groups of people, for rent by owner, for sale by owner, expired, those things. They are not in the resource, but at the end, my email will come up and you can email me and say, Jess, give me those FSBO expired out-of-state owner scripts, and we'll do it. For community outreach, I just want to touch on this a little bit. Another way to connect with your community and drive growth through your passion and purpose is to think about an organization that matters to you and connect it to referrals. For every referral of your friends and family you send us, for every referral in your sphere, for every referral in your network that you send us, when they sign, the first month of management fees will go to the American Cancer Society, Big Brothers Big Sisters, the local food bank, the local pet shelter. Whatever your purpose and your passion is, give back to that. Tell others you're doing it. Somebody who's not licensed, say it's the local CPA refers you business. What if that local CPA supports March of Dimes? Wouldn't it be fair to say, after you've gotten to know them a little bit, for every referral you send me, the first month of management fees we collect will go to March of Dimes, will go to this organization that matters to you? Yes, because what matters to you matters to me. Why? Because your business is going to grow by investing in other people's businesses and goals. Everybody needs an accountability partner. All right, so passion is contagious. These are ways, right, to figure out who you can partner with in terms of community interaction. And then finally, social prospecting. What does this mean? Everybody's on Facebook, right? Everybody's in messaging groups. Everybody's on LinkedIn. It's the new farming. Everybody remember back in the day, farming? Oh, farming, so fun, door knocking. And then COVID burst that balloon. And I think all of us were super happy. So where does prospecting happen now? It happens online. What can you do? You can friend people who are in messaging groups. You can friend people who are in investor groups. You can friend people who are in property management groups. You can DM them. You can talk offline, online. You can contribute to messaging boards. You can find people on LinkedIn. Circle up. right? You can find people in mastermind groups. A lot of products here have their own mastermind groups and special dedicated communities. I encourage you to talk to every vendor here about different communities that they host for people just like you. Find, follow, engage, and then reach out. Hey, we're Facebook friends. Hey, we're in this same community. Hey, we know each other virtually. Of course, we're besties, right? Visibility compounds when you share your expertise. Be a guest on a webinar, write articles on LinkedIn or blogs, and share those with the world. Tell the world that you know a little something about a little something. Be a guest on a podcast. Don't be scared. Camera's right in your face. Mic is right there. It doesn't matter. They can edit those too, right? And then quarterly calls with your current clients, investors, and definitely with your referral partners. Events for those people too. Then the best thing that you can do for yourself is hold yourself accountable. Organize, track, analyze, and adjust. What does that mean? You need to track KPIs. You need to have somebody that you talk to every week, talk to yourself every day, talk to your accountability partner every week about your numbers. Don't just track numbers, but track activities, track behaviors, not just outcomes. Oh yeah, this will give you a template, a growth tracker template. You're welcome to it. It's also in the resource, but this will take you right there. This is where you start tracking. You get an accountability partner or a coach, and you say, this is my goal, and they hold you accountable to it. Growth doesn't happen without accountability, right? You can't control the yes, but you can control the touches, highest and best use of your time, and how do you know what that is? Unless you track it. I told you, and I just want to say, I was only 6 seconds over, so count it. But here's my email address. If there's anything I spoke about that you want to know more about and you were just too afraid to say, hey, tell us more about that. Thank you for not, because I would have cut my time. But email me. You can call me too, because that's my real cell phone number. Text me, call me, email me. Let's talk more about growth. Let's talk more about how to get you to your growth goals. I'll give you each complimentary 30 minutes if you want to really strategize it out. I appreciate you making the trek in here. I appreciate you making my speak at NARPM National dream come true. It was a goal I set 6 years ago. I didn't lead with that because I wanted to finish with that. The amazing Dee Dee Lee, who will be our incoming president, inspired me 6 years ago to do just this. And now I'm going to tell you to do the same. If you want something, take the steps and go after it. Don't be afraid to start. Start now, start here. Grow, get uncomfortable. And call me. Have a great rest of your conference.